All right, y'all, welcome back. This is Black Angel, and welcome back to the Hill University. Tonight, we're going to be doing a class on the auras and the energetic fields, okay? Auras, now I'm from Texas, so I got a little bit of country accent. A-U-R-A-S, auras, okay? And energetic fields, which can sometimes be looked at as the same thing. And we'll go deeper into that during this class. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the different parts of the auras, such as the etheric, emotional, and the mental bodies. We're going to just briefly talk about the auras of the chakras, and we're going to go into ways to protect the aura, to heal the aura, to cleanse it, and some ways things can still kind of get in, even with your aura being protected and healed. Okay. So before we get started, just like any class, we want to start off with grounding, calling in our divine support team for protection and for guidance. So at this time, I would ask everyone to command your higher self to connect you to the Earth's vortex. Connect you to the Earth's vortex with the intentions of being grounded. Ashe? Okay, just like every class, you should be starting to feel yourself be grounded, be more calm and relaxed, be more centered. At this time, call our support team with intentions of asking for divine protection and divine guidance. And then, of course, if there's anything else you would like them to help you with at this time, whether it's help raising your vibrations, you can also do that on your own as well. So again, I'm gonna call in our divine support team for divine protection and divine guidance and anything else you may want to ask them for at this time, Ashe. Remember to allow yourself to feel their presence, to know that they're there, ready to protect you and ready to guide you, Ashe. All right, so let's get into a little bit about what the aura is, or the energetic fields. First, know that everyone and every object has some sort of energetic field around it, right? We all have energy that radiates from within, all the way outside the body, right? Or of the object. We all have vibrations, we all have frequencies. So depending on the frequencies of the vibration of the person or the object, depends on how far and the feeling of the aura that's around that person or the object, right? So let's start with the aura of the etheric, right? So everyone has an etheric aura. This aura usually is about 8 inches, from the body. Now, you can usually see this aura with the naked eye. Have you ever looked at someone and you've seen this clear aura going around their body? So that clear aura is, again, the etheric aura, the etheric energetic field. And it represents the vibration of a person. So usually when I see someone with very, very high vibrations, it doesn't look like the typical, etheric body or aura that goes around the body. It usually goes a lot further out, especially around the crown and the third eye, around the head area. People, excuse me, people with high vibrations typically will have a very large etheric body. So again, this is something you can see with the naked eye, especially if you just stare at a person. And if their background tends to be more solid, you'll notice that too. That with a solid background, they tend to, you tend to be able to see their auras very clearly, very etheric. Now, again, this also deals with objects and other things that are not necessarily human. So when I'm driving down the freeway and I'm looking at the road and looking off, on things around me, I can notice the etheric body around trees. You look at a tree, usually the sky, okay, it's blue, so it's kind of like a solid background, if you will, when you're looking at the tree, or you're looking at a billboard sign, you can see the etheric energy around the tree and those signs, right? That's the vibrations of that particular item. Now, some people are very gifted with clairvoyance, with the option of being able to see the colors of the auras, meaning that when we see the colors, it typically will deal with the chakras, and it deals with what type of energy that particular person or item is operating in, okay? And when we talk about the chakras, auras of the chakras, we'll go into that a little bit later and talk about how it, shows throughout the energetic field. The next part of our aura, okay, we have the etheric, and then the next part we have is the emotional body. The emotional body. This is still talking about the aura. So right outside of the etheric aura, you have your emotional aura, your emotional body. And this part of you is what's felt by other people, right? It's felt by other people. So let's say you come in contact with an empath and you have some trauma still held within you. Well, that trauma is going to radiate into your emotional body. And then the empath will pick up on that trauma once they come in contact with your energetic field. So this is how, even if you're an empath, this is how you're able to pick up on other people's, emotions when you come near them. Now that includes distance, because even in distance, on the spiritual side, there's really no distance, right? So even if you're talking to someone on the phone, or you're talking to someone through video, or sometimes even through text, though you're talking from a distance in the physical, the mind and spirit is talking as if you two are in the same room. So if you would imagine when you're talking on the phone or texting somebody that you're simulating you actually in the same room talking to them face to face, your auras can then also pick up as well on their emotional body and vice versa. Okay, and then the last part of our aura is a mental body, the mental body, okay? This is what's going on in the mind. And this part sits further out from us than our emotions. So you ever, let's say, I always like to use grocery store as an example. In the grocery store, and you can feel somebody looking at you, and you look over at them, and you can almost feel exactly what they're thinking. You ever had that experience before? Where you can feel what somebody's thinking when they get close, semi-close to you? That's because their mental field is touching your mental field. And then there's a connection that happens, even if it's temporary. There's a connection, there's an interaction. And the mental field deals with what you hold in the mind, what you hold in your consciousness. And then that consciousness radiates all the way into the outside of your aura. This is particularly why I always say the mouth can lie, but the energy will snitch on you every time, you see? So regardless of what you may be saying, your mental body is actually putting out exactly what you're thinking. That makes sense. The mouth can lie, but your energy will snitch on you every time, and that's how. Okay, so let's go into some more things about the aura. I'm going to share some pictures, right? Just to give a little bit more clarity of what happens with the aura. Now, the aura is your first line of protection. We talk about spiritual protection. Talk about spiritual protection. Your aura is your first line of protection. And for your aura to protect you, it has to be whole, it has to be cleansed, it has to be repaired, complete, without holes or gaps in it. So if you look at this aura on this picture here, right? These little black lines you see here, these are slits or holes in your aura that allows negative energy to get in. This can also be coming from other people. So let's say if there's someone who has any type of jealousy energy towards you, it may be coming in and coming in towards your solar plexus. If it's an item that has negative energy attached to it, but you claim that item is yours, that item can have a cord, a dark cord like these that are attached to you, because that's the open line of communication between you and that object that allows that energy to penetrate. Okay, these also can happen. Let's say you're out and about, you're in a mall, and there's just a lot of negative energy around. These negative energies will try to penetrate your aura until it's able to connect to the body. Now, when you look at these different energies or entities that are around the aura, some of these can be just shadow figures that try to attach to you. Again, whether you're out and about or you're home, or if you come in contact with other people that have these entities on them, they can try to jump from another person to you, especially the incubus and the succubus type of entities. Sometimes people even call them energy vampires. Some call them sex demons, right? And sex demons are not just, entities that are transmuted through sex. Some of them are just transmuted simply by contact or by location, of being vulnerable, because these energies, these entities, their job is to siphon energy. So whatever way they can get to you, they will, especially if you have a lot of sexual energy, which is like creative energy, manifestation energy, or you're just highly gifted, spiritually gifted. They like to attach to people like us to siphon our energy. So when you have an entity like this one up here on the top right, once it gets inside your aura, then it can start to basically take a lot of your etheric and your emotional energy and siphon it for itself, because a lot of times when we're in our emotional energy, that energy can be very strong, right? Now, when you look at the entity at the top of the aura with a little bit of that black smoke, I usually see these in my mind as like if a person has a curse. If a person has like a curse or some type of hex attached to them, a lot of times I'll see a little bit of smoke right above the crown. And then the entity represents the entity that's sent to play out the will of the curse, meaning the smoke is the curse, and then this entity is going to cause the damage that the curse is intended for, right? So that's usually when I see them above the head, that's what that is. So even people with curses, they have a strong aura. The aura, for the most part, will block the majority of the curse out. But if that person starts to operate in some kind of low vibrations because of some kind of pain and suffering or anger, depression, then it weakens the aura. And when the aura gets weakened, then just like this entity here is able to kind of sneak its way in now while the aura is not as strong. So keeping the aura cleansed, purified, and strengthened will keep these energies and all these dark cords from being able to puncture holes in them and be able to, attach to the body. So what are some ways that we can keep our aura purified and cleansed? So a couple of ways. Okay, so one of the ways to cleanse your aura, a simple way, will be using sage, especially California white sage, right? You burn the sage and you allow the smoke of the sage to go throughout the entire aura from head to toe, all the way around. So what I like to do, I like to take the sage, and again, I let the smoke go all over, and then I'll place my container, whatever I'm using, on the ground, and then I'll just allow myself to kind of stand over it a little bit and just let that smoke just radiate all the way through my aura, cleansing it. So California white sage is a great way to cleanse your aura. Okay, another way to cleanse your aura is through some sort of oils, right? Some oils with the intentions of cleansing. So here I have an energetic cleansing oil. And this energetic cleansing oil works by me just putting a little bit on the skin, or maybe I'll put a little bit in different places of the body, ankles, knees, hips, elbows, wrists, like all the major joints on the outside of the body, top of the head, feet. And basically when you do that with the oils, you're creating this like grid, this like oil grid around your body. And then that oil with its intention starts to cleanse the aura. So sometime after a session, I may just take some cleansing, energetic cleansing oil and just put some on my arms, a little bit on my legs, and some on top of my head, and just let it do what it do to cleanse my energy fields. Okay. Another way you can cleanse your energetic fields, the auras, will be using selenite. Selenite is a great cleansing and purification stone or crystal. And it's good to use one, maybe even a little longer than this if you can. And you take the selenite crystal and you wand it around your body. You wand it around your body and let the selenite cleanse all the darkness out of your energetic fields. You can even do it in a motion where you're kind of swiping the negative away from your body as you use the selenite crystal. Now, if you're someone like a Reiki practitioner or someone who does, healing sessions on other people, I recommend the same thing. Take your selenite and cleanse your client's aura with the selenite before starting the session on them, going up and down the front of the body. If you can't go to the back of the body, depending on how your client is placed, you can always use the intentions of the selenite that as you wand the front, that it does the back the same way. Some of the things I've also taught to massage therapists when it comes to that, especially when clients come in, they may have dirty auras. I tell them to tape selenite underneath the bottom of the massage bed. So when the client is laying on top of the massage table, the selenite is cleansing the aura of the client, so then it won't attach to the practitioner, the therapist. You can also take the selenite, place it in the four corners of the room, and that'll do it too. So that's another easy way to cleanse your aura. Another way to cleanse the aura would be a crystal grid. Crystal grid. So this is a crystal grid I created recently. And I created it so that when someone stands on it, it gets the benefits of the crystals around it. Now, the main crystals around this crystal grid is selenite, just like I explained, right? Selenite is a purifier. Now, I'm also using Reiki symbols as well. One for cleansing, one for positive energy, and one for bringing balance to the emotions. So when a person steps on this grid, inside of this grid, we have the selenite that cleanses the entire aura. And selenite also goes through the body. So because it's cleansing the body, it also helps cleanse the aura that way as well from the inside out. And then we have our chakra stones, which helps heal and balance the chakras. And then we have clear quartz, which amplifies the intentions of the entire grid itself. So if anybody's interested in getting a grid like this, you can always send me an email on the website, and we can talk about getting your grid created and sent out to you. Okay. Another way to use a crystal grid could be taking like pieces of selenite or black tourmaline and placing them on the floor in a circle, and then standing inside of the circle. And then letting your intuition tell you when your aura is cleansed. Sometimes too, once you stand inside of that crystal grid, you can feel your aura be cleansed. You can feel it. You can feel the tingling sensations on the skin. Now, some other crystals you can use to cleanse your aura is kyanite, blue kyanite. I'm actually wearing one here. Blue kyanite not only cleanses the chakras, they also cleanse and heal, the aura, but it also cleanses and heals the chakras itself. So when you think about the chakras, each chakra radiates within your aura. Your root chakra being the closest to the body, and then the sacral, solar plexus, and so forth. So using crystals that help cleanse and heal the chakras also helps cleanse and heals the auras of those chakras radiating from your body as well. So when we talk about the chakras, again, the chakras also radiate outside of the body as well. And a great way to protect your auras is using Labradorite crystal. Labradorite crystal is one that I highly recommend for those who are empaths, because it will protect the entire auras that's attached to you, especially keeping people who may be energetic vampires and entities from attaching to you and being able to drain your energy. If you listen to the crystal class we had last week, we talked about labradorite in there, but just in case, here's an example of a labradorite here. Okay. Now, while you have crystals that can cleanse and also sometimes protect your aura, we have to know that these crystals also have auras themselves. And those auras can only go out so far. So in some cases, not all cases, but in some cases, size does matter. Meaning, the bigger the crystal, the more energy it has to radiate at a farther distance, right? But then there are some crystals that are strong enough that even a small piece of it, like kyanite, even a small piece of it can radiate very far. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And again, let your intuition, let your divine support team guide you in which crystals will be best for you, and of course the size to protect your aura. Ashe. And sometimes you may need to wear more than one type of crystal to protect on different types of levels. One of the crystals I usually never leave without is selenite. I always usually keep a piece of selenite, a decent size on me, even if it's just in my pocket. I always take selenite with me. So if I don't take this beauty here, sometimes I'll just take my selenite wand with me and just put it in my pocket, and I'll just, place my hand in my pocket and be touching on my selenite, letting the selenite energy kind of course throughout my body. So I always recommend, if you know you're an empath and you absorb other people's energies, if you don't have labradorite, definitely get some selenite, but either one would work just fine. Or do both. There's nothing wrong with that too. Okay, now let's go into talking about what happens when your aura meets another person's aura, because this is definitely going to be part of protection. So in this picture example here, when two people come close to each other, the auras combines into one aura. That means whatever is inside one person's aura will be shared with the other. And usually what happens is the person with a dominant aura is going to overcome the other person. So let's see if I can use this little drawing thing here. Okay. All right, so let's say if this red energy, just for class sake, this red energy was negative, and this person came in contact. What happens now is the negative energy starts to come into the other person's aura. And this is, again, if you're an empath, this is how also you can feel people's negative energy just by being close to them. There's a little superstition that talks about not splitting the pole, if you ever heard about that. So what happens when you split a pole, if you have two people together, and let's say when these two people are together, his aura overcomes her aura, makes one big aura, and it's a protection aura, right? His aura protects this other person. But then when they split the pole, what happens is there's a gap in the two auras. And the gap is not just between the two auras. The gap is also, there's an opening here and an opening here on both people's auras. That means here, there's an opening, In his, there's an opening. In hers, and the two R's itself are broken. So now he's susceptible for outside energies to infiltrate his R. Same thing with her, because the connection got broken. So this is really the truth behind the superstition of why you don't split the poles when you're walking with someone, right? This is also a good reason why you want to wear some sort of protection crystal to protect you as well, your aura, so that if this does happen, you have your crystal to quickly repair that part of your aura that was broken. So you really have to be careful when you come in contact with people, and especially in the physical, because these auras will combine and the energies will be shared between each other. Okay. All right. Now, the other part of when dealing with protecting your aura is going to be what you allow into your aura. What you allow into your aura. So if we look at, these are representative chakras. If we look at these chakras and we look at these lightning bolts that are coming in, if you have an aura, scoot this over a little bit. If you have an aura that's made whole, okay, I'm going to just draw a little circle representing a protected aura, right? So you have this aura is protected from outside energies and entities, but you have ties to different people, different objects, situations, relationships, what else? Soul contracts, agreements and authorizations that you made with other people. Your protection doesn't necessarily protect you because you have agreed to allow these energies to attach to you, you see? So your protection is not going to stop these cords, these energies from coming through because you made that agreement. So if you don't want certain energies to come through your aura, you have to then start to tell yourself that I'm not going to allow, this energy to attach to my heart chakra or a certain person. So you have to X out or cancel the permission of this cord being able to come in. You can even actually do this with drawing, where you draw, stick figure or whatever. You draw a circle to represent the aura. You draw a line to represent the connection. And then you put an X over that line to symbolize, I do not want this energy no longer coming through my aura. This energy is not allowed to enter this space anymore. So that's a good modality, a very easy one you can use to protect certain energies from coming through your aura that you may have allowed to come through in the past, or maybe you didn't have any boundaries up, so people and things were allowed to attach to you as they see fit because you didn't have any boundaries. So sometimes it's good to go back and start canceling out connections that no longer serve you so that you can block these energies from coming inside of your aura. Now, other ways to protect your auras, if you go check out the spiritual protection class and another class that we already had, I talk a little bit more in ways you can protect your aura using different modalities. Now, colors can be a simple way to protect yourself. For example, I like to use the color gold because gold is bold, strong, and not only does gold represent protection, it also represents healing, and it also represents prosperity. But gold is a really, really strong color to imagine placing within your aura and around your aura for divine protection on all levels. So you can always consider using your mind's eye to place this golden energy around you, and you should be able to feel the difference in your aura as it's being protected. So let's do some demonstrations. we'll do some demonstrations, right? You're gonna see what it feels like when your aura is being cleansed and when your aura is being healed and it's being protected. So I'm gonna bring up a photo that I brought up earlier, which is going to be this one, right? Here we go. Now, imagine if your aura had all these things going on in it just like that. I'm gonna take the selenite, and looking at this picture, I'm going to use it as a surrogate for us all. And as I move the selenite up and down the picture with the intentions of cleansing the auras, it's going to cleanse our auras, right? Now, you should start to feel a cooling sensation on the skin. You may start to feel a cool breeze or cooling energy around you as the selenite is cleansing your aura, purifying it of all negativity, all low vibrating energies and entities. Okay. Again, demonstrating one way that you can cleanse the aura. Now, another way to cleanse your aura and repair it, because once these cores and all these holes are cleansed, the holes still have to be filled in, right? You don't want to leave them open because then something else can just come and replace it. Your higher self, which we talked about in many classes before this one, knows you better than anyone. And your own higher self is very strong. It's like the God version of you. So a very simple way is to ask your higher self, command your higher self to cleanse and repair your aura. Simply by giving your higher self that command, your higher self will step in and fix and patch up all the holes that's in you. So at this time, I want you to command your higher self to cleanse and repair your auras and energetic fields. Ashe, I command my higher self to cleanse and repair my auras and energetic fields. Ashe. Now, once you say it, you just sit still, sit quietly, and you can start to feel where your higher self starts to go within your aura to fix it. And as you're feeling your higher self go through your aura to cleanse and repair it, feel and take note of any past pain or discomfort that you were feeling and see where the gaps in your aura was that allowed that pain to come in. You may have been wondering why your leg hurts or why you was getting a headache or maybe some chest discomfort. But as your aura is being cleansed and repaired, now you can note that, that's what it was. I had a gap. And because I had a gap in my aura in that space, energy was allowed to come in, lower vibrating energies. It could take a little bit for your aura to be fully repaired. It can take anywhere from minutes to hours, depending on how damaged it is. But cleansing your aura, especially if you're an empath or you're someone who does some sort of healings or readings, Reiki, I recommend you cleanse your aura after each session and even before the session so you don't transfer energy to your client. But you want to do it when you wake up and you want to do it before bed. So again, before you go to sleep, when you wake up, and throughout the day as you do your spiritual work. Or if you even come in contact with someone that your auras might have meshed and some energy is transferred, once you leave that situation, you want to then again command your higher self to cleanse and purify, repair, whatever other words come to you, to your aura, so that you can, be fresh and clean from that encounter. Okay, So another way to protect your aura, and I believe we talked about this in spiritual protection, is placing shields or bubbles around you, around your aura, right? So we have our energetic fields, but I want something around my aura, some extra energy of protection to again block low vibrating energies from coming through. So you can do it with the colors of white. You can do it with the colors of like purple, definitely gold, and whatever color to you says protection, then that's the colors that you place around your energetic fields. Again, you're doing this in the mind's eye, or you can do this on paper where you, again, you draw a stick figure and you draw circles around your aura with the intentions of it being divine protection around your aura. Sometimes drawing makes it easier because it helps you be able to focus on the manifestation that you're trying to achieve, especially if your mind is a little clouded. And again, just like healing and repairing your auras before bed and when you wake up, you also want to do placing these protection shields around your aura before bed, when you wake up, when you're out and about, especially when you're going out in public, because you want to have that extra protection because there's other people with energies that you may not want to receive. Okay. Another thing that's going to help your aura stay cleansed is being grounded, staying grounded. The earth does a great job in cleansing and rejuvenating our auras and energetic fields. This means hugging a tree can cleanse your aura, standing outside in the grass, barefoot, sitting up against a tree, leaning your back against a tree, or just simply standing in the aura of a tree. And the aura of the tree can actually cleanse and heal your aura, especially if you first, of course, greet the tree because it is a living being, and you ask this tree to do such, like you're asking the tree to cleanse and heal your aura. And if you do that while barefooted near the tree, then you're getting the benefits of the grounding while the tree is also cleansing your energetic fields and auras. Now, let's say you can't get near a tree, can't get near the ground because maybe it's cold outside, maybe it's raining, maybe you're just not in a place where there's a lot of greenery, a lot of concrete. Remember, trees and the ground, the earth, have auras too. And you can call on energy to be beamed actually directly to you. Meaning, I can ask the aura of an object or a tree to be beamed directly to me for whatever purpose that I called on it for. So let's test this out, right? Because you got to feel it to know that you can do this. I want you to think about a tree that you know of that's near you. When you see this tree in your mind, I want you to greet this tree. Blessings to you, whatever comes to you, to speak to the tree, to not only get its attention, but you want to make this connection with the tree, right? And then you want to ask the tree to heal and repair your aura, knowing that it's from a distance. And then I want you to imagine the tree's aura and the tree's energy coming directly to you, no matter where it's at, that it's coming directly to you. And then feel it, feel the energy of the tree. So very quickly, you should already be feeling the tree coming into your energetic fields and doing its work, just as if you were standing or hugging the tree in the flesh. The same thing can work with crystals as well. Let's say you don't have selenite and you don't have access to selenite, but we know selenite comes from the earth. And we know that being grounded also makes us one with the earth, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes and picture myself either near selenite. You can picture yourself inside of one of the selenite caves, that's like in Mexico. but you want to picture the selenite energy either being brought to you or you being brought to it. And as you picture yourself with the selenite, becoming one with it, you allow the selenite energy to cleanse and purify your energetic fields. And because selenite has other properties, not only will you feel it on the skin surface, you may even feel the selenite energy going throughout your physical body, removing blockages at the same time. Last but not least, is water. Water is a great cleansing agent when it comes to the auras and energetic fields. I like to look at water as like a clear quartz. Just like you can program a clear quartz to do a certain job, you can do the same thing with the water. I mean, every time you take a bath, a shower, whether it's washing your hands or just washing your face, you can always place intentions into the water to do a specific job. So when I shower, I always love to tell the water as it rains over me, cleanse all the negative energy, cleanse my energetic fields and auras, and wash it away down the drain. So water is a very simple way to cleanse the body and the energy fields. And if you think about it, works the same way with crystals, right? You can wash crystals, minus selenite and some of the other ones that you don't want to come in contact with water, but the ones that you can cleanse them by simply running them under water. Well, our bodies work the same way as well. Our energy works the same way with water. Now, let's say you come in contact with one of these sexual demons, right? These entities. This is another way water can work with you. You place sea salt, a generous amount of sea salt in the water, like a bucket or a foot spa. You put a whole lot of sea salt in water, warm water, hot water. And when you place your feet in the water, the sea salt water will start to absorb all the negative energy and attachments from your energetic fields. It would absorb it, and you'll start to feel the water pull that negative energy out of you. This is why some people like to go to the beach and place their feet in the water, because the beach water is also salt water, and it pulls that energy out the root chakra, and then it takes it with it, right? So I would stand in this water in my tub, again, with the sea salt in the water. I feel the water pull out all that negative energy, and then I go ahead and let that water down the drain. So if anyone is dealing with some sort of sexually transmitted demons or entities or energies, an easy, simple fix would be to soak your feet in sea salt water. And again, be very liberal, generous with that sea salt. Don't just sprinkle it like you're putting on some food, trying to keep your blood pressure low. You want to dump it in there, okay? You want to, okay? And you will be able to feel that energy being pulled from you, and you will feel a complete difference once you're done with that. You don't have to be in there long either. Maybe about 5 or 10 minutes. So that's another cleansing modality to keep in mind. If you're trying to cleanse the energies and energetic fields and auras of your crystal, same thing. You can place your crystals in a bowl of sea salt, and then let the sea salt cleanse those crystals, and then you're good to go. And that works for any object. Maybe it's a piece of jewelry, maybe it's a bracelet, anything. You can always place it in sea salt and let the sea salt cleanse the energetic fields of it as well, and any attachments that may be attached to it. So as you can see, the energetic fields are not too hard to protect. You just have to know how they function, and then you can protect against them. Now, this is something that you want to be careful with, that I want to show again. And this is going to be dealing with attachments to the energetic field, meaning when you have your etheric, will be like this white part that's real close to the body here. Then you have your emotional, and then you have your mental. And remember, you can have attachments to these different parts of the energetic fields. And so asking your higher self to remove those attachments would be something that you want to periodically do. Especially again, if you're someone who come in contact with a lot of people. Remember, our emotional field may have trauma or some sort of something from the past attached to it, and then something from the outside may want to attach to that trauma. And instead of us being able to heal from it, the attachments keep us in it, right? So you want to ask your higher self to release any attachments to your energetic fields. So let's try that now. So again, you want to command your higher self to remove and release or detach, or whatever words that you feel comfortable using, all attachments from my energetic fields and auras. I command my higher self to remove and detach all attachments to my energetic fields and auras. Ashe. And just like before, you want to kind of just sit, feel where the attachments are coming off of you. Feel if these attachments was causing any pain and suffering to your physical body. Or I can also say, was the physical body showing pain to show a manifestation of an attachment? Attachment can come in many forms. It can be an attachment dealing with other people. It can be attachments of energy, situations, basically anything outside of your own consciousness that attaches to you. And then if you're led, after the attachments are released, you can then again ask your higher self to repair your aura now that those attachments are removed. You know, not all empaths are healers, but all healers are empaths, because we have to know what's going on to be able to guide our healing that we're helping the other person with. So a lot of times as empaths, especially as healers, you will have people, you will have energies, you will have spirits even from the other side. They may attach to you to kind of feed off of your energy, even if it's not intentionally. It may be something subconscious, right? But to protect yourself and to not be drained, you have to tell your higher self and or ask your divine support team to assist in removing attachments from you. Okay. So if you feel like you're being pulled on, too many energies is pulling your energies from you, you want to command that those attachments are gone. And then you can always command your energy to return to you, cleansed and purified. Ashe? Okay. So I hope this class helps. Remember to practice protecting your auras and cleansing them and removing attachments. Remember to do this daily, at a minimum before bed and when you wake up. And if you're doing the work with others and have encounters with others throughout the day, make sure to take a break. Take about 5 minutes to yourself and cleanse, heal, repair your auras and your energetic fields, so that then you can be ready to move on with the next part of your day, whatever you're going to be doing. All right. Well, I hope this helps, and I will see you all in the next class. Have a beautiful morning, day, or afternoon, whenever it is when you watch this. And we're going to get ready to get into the symbols and sigils next, and then into the real deep stuff. We're going to do that 4-part energetic healing. Y'all have a good one. Ashe.